His Royal Highness Tunku Tan Sri Imran Ibni Almarhum Tuanku Jaafar, President of the Olympic Council of Malaysia, Richard Wee, Conference Chairperson of the Sports Arbitration Conference, distinguished speakers, delegates, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning and welcome to the Sports Arbitration Conference organized as part of the Kuala Lumpur International Arbitration Week 2015. A warm welcome, especially where I see many delegates both within and from far from Malaysia. To kick off the start of the conference, I would like to now invite the conference chairperson, Richard Wee, to the stage to start off with his welcome remarks.
Yang Amat Mulia, Tunku Tan Sri Imran Ibni Almarhum Tunku Jaafar, honourable guests, members of the Malaysian Bar, my fellow brothers from the bar, and all the other delegates, thank you for being here today. Welcome to the KLIAW building, Bangunan Sulaiman. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Richard Wee, the chairperson of the organizing committee for today's Sports Arbitration Conference, held in conjunction with the Kuala Lumpur International Arbitration Week 2015. I must first say that I am extremely excited to do this together with the team. There are about 15 of us, 10 of us organizing this conference. It's been quite challenging the last few months to try and gather the best possible speakers here today, and I think with what we have today, we are going to have one exciting, interesting, and definitely a learning curve for all of us for this conference. Today's Sports Arbitration Conference aims to provide a useful information and insights from the individuals who will be here today, who has been involved in either sports arbitration or in sports administration for a long time. Why are we doing this today? That's the key question which we should ask ourselves. Interestingly, in 2012, actually exactly on 8th of May 2012, exactly 3 years ago, KLRCA executed an MOU with the Court of Arbitration of Sports, CAS. And effectively, that MOU appoints this building, this center, to host and hold and hear CAS hearings in Malaysia, making us the fourth city to host this. The first city, of course, is in Switzerland, the headquarters of CAS. The second city is New York. The third is Sydney. In fact, I think the Sydney was first before New York. Excuse me. Malaysia is now the fourth city to host CAS and the only city in Asia, which makes us a unique city to accept hearings and cases for CAS. And it is because of that we thought the most important person we should invite, and he's here today, is none other than Tunku Imran. Tunku Imran, of course, is not only the president of OCM, the Olympic Council of Malaysia, but some of you may not know that he was actually the first national squash champion in 1973. We dug out, the thing about Tunku, the thing about Google is very dangerous. You can Google and find out about a person's great history. So Tunku actually was our first national squash champion, and some of you may not know that Tunku's team was fundamental behind the discovery of squash talents in Malaysia, like Ong Beng Hee and Nicole Davids. So we will have a address later from Tunku Imran, where Tunku Imran will then set the tone for what he feels should be done for sports arbitration. And in 1983, just a quick history of CAS. In 1983, the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, decided to create the Court of Arbitration for Sports. CAS is virtually for Malaysian lawyers, we will know that as the Federal Court for Sports, the Supreme Court for Sports all over the world. And this CAS have heard more than 3,000 cases since its inception. And CAS not only have a hearing court, but now it has an appeal court. So it's a very structured court, and something lawyers from this region and people from this region involved in sports should learn, should know. Get ready for CAS, because it's coming to town. And I would say this, that this entire program today is designed not only to try and introduce CAS to all of us, but to educate us, to, as I said earlier, prepare us, train us. The next session after the welcoming address, the keynote address by Tunku Imran, will be conducted by Mr. Paul Hayes, all the way from Melbourne. Paul, if I can share with you, is a barrister from Melbourne. He is in fact a member of the Australia and New Zealand Sports Law Association, and in 2013, the ANZSLA awarded him the Dennis Callinan Award for his contribution to sports. And we have him here today. He will be presenting a brief, in fact not really brief, it's going to be quite detailed, outline of sports arbitration, basically a guideline on how do you activate sports arbitration, a CAS hearing. He's supposed to share the podium with Encik Isa Aziz Ibrahim actually. Unfortunately, Encik Isa had to rush off to Jakarta for an urgent matter, so I'll be replacing him later and sharing the podium with Paul. Now it's going to be a tough task to share a task with the podium with a giant like Paul. In the afternoon, we have the Asian Football Confederation. Mr. Benoit Pesquet is here. He will be giving his views together with Encik Izham, CEO of the Professional Footballers Association of Malaysia. They are going to be giving us the consumer point of view. They are the consumers of sports arbitration. They will share their thoughts and views about that, and that's later in the afternoon. Then they will share the podium with Datuk Sundaraju, who will be giving his thoughts and views on his vision of this area. And I must say on this point, that actually we are here today because of his vision. Datuk Sundra is a visionary director. He saw the potential in CAS, he went for it, and we are here today. So basically today we are living his vision, and I hope to not let him down actually. And last but not least, in fact the second keynote speaker in the afternoon at about 2:30 after lunch, or about 2 o'clock after lunch, is from my beloved football club, and some of you may know here, I'm a huge fan of Everton Football Club. The club who has not won anything since 1995. But Everton have agreed to send the head of legal, Mr. Chris Anderson, here. They will be giving us a Premier League view. Now, Everton has been around since 1875, sorry. And no, 1878, sorry. And in 137 years, they have been in the Premier League or the top division for 122 years. The longest serving club in the top flight. So all you Manchester United and Liverpool fans, I'm sorry, it's actually Everton. Yeah. And so what is interesting is that Everton has been in the top division continuously now for more than 60 years. So they last got relegated 60 years. And they will be presenting their Premier League view later. And it is very interesting to understand how the Premier League works around CAS. I'm made to understand that the Premier League football rules doesn't adopt CAS. But I think Chris Anderson will present a better view there. So that is where we will be heading later. We've got about 5 hours of very interesting discussions and dialogues. I must say at this stage that I would like to thank the KLRCA, particularly Dato' Sundra, for giving me this honor and pleasure to lead this committee. I won't have a chance to give my farewell speech later, so if you don't mind, I would like to just introduce to you very quickly the organizing committee, the team behind today's event. And they are Mr. Douglas Ling, Peter Douglas Ling, who's here, Encik Faris Jinnah, Miss Ann Kwa of KLRCA, Encik Faris Shahabi of KLRCA, Mr. Danidran Rajendran, we call him Dan, Mr. Yip Xiao Heng, Sheikh Malisa Razak, and the deputy chairperson of the conference is Miss Leslie Lim. So we will form sometime in January and February, and I hope not to let you down today. I hope to present to you a convincing conference. And at the end of the conference, I really hope that you will take home fresh ideas, new knowledge, and novel points for you to chew on and prepare yourself for the arrival of CAS in Malaysia. So have a good day today and enjoy the conference. Thank you very much.